Well, 2024 is behind us, and that means that I start my various videos where I talk about my top 10 toys of various subcategories throughout the year. And this episode is my top 10 Transformers of 2024. Now, this list is going to be probably a little controversial because my taste in Transformers is a little unusual compared to some other people. Some people are all about, like, the latest, greatest, super nice thing, and I'm not always about that. My list is very much focused on the top 10 toys that just made me happy this year. The toys that I just played with all the time, that I just had the most fun with, and that's not going to be your Bumblebee movie concept art Megatrons. That's not on my list. And there's another one that is very much not on my list that I will get to before I start the list, but here are two honorable mentions. It was very difficult to have to cut these two out of the list, but they are still very nice, and I love them very much. First of all, Transformers 1 is the best Transformers movie, and my favorite toy of it so far is the AMK D16 Cogged Bot Mode. Love this figure. It's so great. But I already have some Yolopark representation on the list itself, so I decided just to showcase my favorite Yolopark figure and to not have too many non-transforming Transformers toys on this list, because I know how some people feel about that. To me, it's a Transformers product, it's a figure of a Transformers character, but it's not necessarily a transforming Transformer toy. I don't know. I have a couple on the list. Hope you don't mind. It's just a couple, though. Nothing too crazy. But over here, we have the Legacy Voyager Vector Prime, a figure that I'm personally very satisfied with. I know not everybody is. I know a lot of people have very, very strong opinions on this one. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's pretty fun, but it was a little too short to be on the list because it does have a few issues that even I have with it. It's not perfect. I had to acknowledge those issues and put my bias aside, and it just, I didn't play with it that much this year. I think I only transformed it once. It's fun to pose. It's a great Vector Prime, but he just didn't make the list. Another figure that didn't make the list that I just need to explain briefly why he's not on the list, because I'm sure a lot of you are going to expect him to be 86 Optimus. I know some people think this is the greatest Optimus Prime toy ever made. I know some people are like, how could this not be on the list? Like, not even on the top 10? No, he's not on the top 10. Like, I've had this guy for a while. I've transformed him a few times. And for the price point and for what this is trying to be, it just falls a little bit too short. It's not significantly more articulated than the Earthrise one. Like, number one, you have to, kind of fight with his hip skirt to get the leg forward. But the leg only kicks that far. The elbows are still just 90 degrees. Me, personally, I feel like his torso is just really bulky. Like, he just looks a little too chunky for a nice, what's supposed to be cartoon-accurate Optimus. And I don't know, dude. I'm a huge Optimus Prime nut. I get all of them, so of course I was going to get this one. And I just, the backpack, there's just some little choices here and there. Like, I feel like the waist all it does is swivel, and I feel like it's really missing, like, some sort of ab crunch. The head doesn't hardly move at all except for a swivel. Like, you can't even have him looking up or down. Like, you literally just see his robot boobs. You can't have him look down. I don't know, man. I'm a little too unhappy with this one for it to be on the list. For it to be a $90 price point Optimus Prime, damn near $100, which is crazy. The fact that there are still flaws is concerning to me. They definitely, held back some innovations on this one to probably sell us another better Optimus Prime at an even higher price point later down the road. All right, let's get on with the list. We're 4 minutes in. I haven't even shown my number 10. My number 10 goes to my favorite leader class figure of 2024, and that was Tigerhawk. This one's sweet. I very much enjoy a nice, large leader class figure, and I think Tigerhawk here had enough going on to justify that $55 price point. He's large, he's in charge, he's got tons of detail. It's Tigerhawk, an already very cool Beast Wars character. Yeah, I love all the little clear greens. It just has a lot going on. I vibe with Tigerhawk, and I was also very excited to find this one. I didn't pre-order it, and I was just kind of hunting for it out in the wild, and I found it at a Target, and I was super excited to find him. It's a good one, dude. But it wasn't any greater than, number 10, because I didn't really transform him too much this year. I mostly just kept him in bot mode. That's usually what I do with Beast Wars characters. Like, I'll transform him once and then usually just keep him in the bot mode, because I don't find Beast Wars transformations very compelling because of how the limbs just basically become the limbs, stuff like that. But hey, this is still a really, really cool one. Definitely doesn't top Dragon Megatron for me. That's still my favorite modern leader class, at least for the Legacy era. But this one is still pretty cool. My number 9 is going to make some people pretty mad, and you're going to be like, what is up with this guy's list? So I left 86 Prime off, and this year we also got Missing Link Optimus Prime, which I personally really enjoyed. But I enjoyed the Legacy Deluxe even more. This is one of my favorite Optimus Primes of the year. Not my absolute favorite, because, you know me, I'm a Prime nut. There's a few others. But I just had so much fun with this guy this year. I loved the transformation. I think the articulation is just really, really nice. I love how it's sculpted. I love the light piping, the accessories, the rubber tires. I had so much more fun with this one than the Missing Link or the 86. This guy ended up becoming a road trip buddy of mine, and I was transforming him on the road and everything. And yeah, it's a really fun one. I really enjoy it. It does have a Matrix of Leadership as well. It's really nice. I personally would love to see this repainted at least a few more times. Kind of wouldn't mind seeing a white Ultra Magnus repaint of this one. I know it doesn't have a proper, Ultra Magnus armor and everything. They haven't done that. But I wouldn't mind, seeing this as a white Magnus. Maybe they might, add some little bits you can put on and like package it as a Voyager or something. I think that would be kind of fun. But yeah, definitely loved this little Prime. Not my favorite deluxe of the year, but definitely one of them. This is one that I know I've seen on at least one or two people's worst list, but it's on my favorites list. Chase! Legacy Chase! So this is a great mold, in my opinion. I know it has some issues, like the shoulders are a little bit cumbersome. They don't, always work in the ways you want them to, but I think they work well enough. And I know some people prefer the Cliff Jumper retool of this, and I have that Cliff Jumper. I think the Cliff Jumper is also really, really good, but the fact that we are seeing Transformers Legacy figures of rescue bots is one of the most exciting things for me. And I cannot wait to see Heatwave, and I really hope we see Blades and Boulder soon to follow. We did get Medics as well, even though he's just kind of a whatever repaint. Still cool to see Medics, but I'm very excited to see this team get fleshed out, and I think they did a great job with Chase. I think this is a really great figure. I know some people have their issues, but I don't have those issues. Like the loose shoulders and everything, my copy is solid as a rock. I love this one. But still, it's not my favorite deluxe of the year. Because my favorite deluxe of the year was Studio Series Concept Art Sunstreaker. I probably transformed to this figure more than any others this year. This was by far my favorite deluxe class. The transformation is incredible. The detailing is incredible. I love the design. The articulation's really nice. This is my favorite figure of Sunstreaker. It's so, so good. I love this thing. And I know for some people, the fact that this guy's on the list and Megatron is not, is going to be a little controversial. But the thing is, Megatron is a great action figure, but he's not a great transformer. His alt modes suck. I did review him for Megsmith if you want to check that out and get a little bit more of my opinion on him. But he would be in my top 20 list if I would have expanded this to 20, but he ain't in the top 10. Sunstreaker is. I love this Sunstreaker. He is great. He is fantastic. But man, we're getting close to the halfway point already. There's some hot heat coming near the end here. My number 6 is surprisingly one that is very big and actually the most expensive figure on the list. And it's a non-transforming figure, and I'm surprised it's only at number 6, but I just enjoyed all the ones above it just a little bit more. ThreeZero Rise of the Beast DLX Optimus Prime is really, really cool. I did a review on it if you want to check it out. I love the design for Rise of the Beast Prime. I think the ThreeZero figure is incredible, and they did a great job with it. It's probably just my least favorite ThreeZero DLX. I just really like some of the other ones even more than this one. Don't get me wrong, still love it. Still incredible. But I don't know. It's probably like the weakest link out of all of the rest of the collection, and because of that, it just wasn't holding my attention as much. I think it's because I got the Last Night Optimus this year. It didn't come out this year, so it's not on the list. But that one is my favorite ThreeZero DLX. And, you know, I got them so close to each other, so this one probably got a little overshadowed. But I still love it. It still has to be on the list, obviously. It's incredible. My number 6 brings to the table what I was kind of hoping 86 Optimus was going to bring, at least when it comes to articulation and just fun factor. That is Lunar Cruiser Optimus Prime. This guy is super great and super fun. And I know it's not a traditional Optimus Prime, and that's actually why I absolutely love him. I do have to acknowledge, in my review, I had him mistransformed. I had this, like, panel out and, like, covering his stomach when it should have been folded in. My bad, oops. But yeah, this guy is just so articulated. I love the design. Oop, this piece always falls off. That's like my only issue, because that peg is super duper tiny. You just play with this guy and that piece is just coming right off. But like his elbow articulation is really nice. He has an ab crunch that I feel like 86 could have absolutely had engineered in there, but for whatever reason they just didn't. His leg articulation is just like, this is what I expected out of 86, dude. This is what I expected when it comes to being like a super nice, posable, articulated figure. And unfortunately, where that figure failed, this figure succeeds. And this was pretty much my favorite transforming Optimus Prime of the year. Not my favorite Optimus, but my favorite transforming Optimus. We had a lot of great Optimus Prime releases in 2024. And I'll say, 86 still is pretty good. It's still a good figure, but this is my favorite. This is definitely my favorite transforming Prime. I love this one. It's actually going on sale at a few places. If you don't have it, I highly suggest you pick one up. Next up at number 4, where Vector Prime did not appear, Starscream has a time to shine. This Legacy Cybertron Starscream, let me tell you, as a Transformers Cybertron kid, where Cybertron was my introduction to this whole franchise, this figure right here hits the spot. Hotshot was very nice this year as well, but this is where it's at, dude. This is where it's at. The articulation, I can say this is one of the most articulated Transformers figures ever made. Like, ever. It is so posable. It is not even funny how posable this thing is. I love the feel of it. It doesn't have a lot of hollow spots. It's pretty durable, very nicely closed up. Has some nice accessories. It has a little, you know, Cyber Planet key. It's Cybertron Starscream, dude. I love this mold, and I really hope we see it repainted like a million times. At least give us the Seekers, bro. At least give us Thundercracker and Skywarp. I know Cybertron, Thundercracker, and Skywarp were not repaints of Starscream, but I don't care. I want this mold again. Please, give it to me in black and purple. Give it to me in blue. Give it to me in whatever you're willing to give it to me in. I will buy it. This guy, ooh, yes, please. Absolutely loved him this year. Remember how I omitted the Yolopark D16 because I already had a Yolopark figure on the list? Well, my number 3 is Yolopark AMK Pro Optimus. Just look at it. I don't have to say anything. Just look at this. I know I was sent this as a review sample for free, but even if I wasn't, this guy would still be where it is on the list. I still would have bought him. And seeing all this paint detail, how it feels, the articulation. Again, it does things that I kind of expected the 86 one to do, and like, especially with the head sculpt. Like, that is a Cartoon Prime head sculpt. The 86 one, it doesn't even have the right head. At least not to me, anyway. But yeah, this is what Cartoon Prime is supposed to look like. This is, you know, proportionally how he is supposed to vibe. And bringing in the 86, you can see he's too fat, bro. He's too fat, his head ain't right. I just have so many little nitpicks with this guy, and they all add up into me not enjoying him as much as I should. I'm sorry I keep ragging on him, but I know so many people are going to be upset that I omitted him. I did a community poll to see how people would react. I literally did. Because I was genuinely concerned that people would be mad at me for omitting him. But I ain't vibing, dude. This list for me are the top 10 Transformers that made me happy this year. And that 86 Prime just didn't have enough going for it for me to really love it. But this Yolopark AMK Pro, yeah. Honestly, this spot could have gone to almost any Yolopark AMK I got this year. Bumblebee from TF1, D16 from TF1, Megatron from AMK Pro, there's Starscream. There's so many that could have gone here, but Optimus here was my favorite. Absolutely. For number 2, I genuinely had to make this much room because you can probably guess who my number 2 might be. Yep, it's Tidal Wave. Titan class Tidal Wave. I mean, how could this not be my number 2? Tidal Wave finally has a Titan class. I've been waiting for this for so long. Tidal Wave is genuinely one of the coolest Decepticons ever. And I think he was definitely very worthy of the Titan, placement. I do plan on doing an old versus new video with him at some point because I do have the original Armada Tidal Wave. But he's just so big. These figures are really hard to talk about on camera, especially with my setup. You can see he is literally right by a pushpin and a shelf. And that pushpin holds an extra light I use sometimes. He is larger than my facilities can facilitate. So yeah, it's tough to do a review of him, but it's Tidal Wave, dude. The articulation is the best we've ever seen on a Titan. I love all the detail. The sculpt is incredible. I feel like he could have been a little bigger or come with a little bit more, but I still love him. Definitely worthy of being on the list. But my number 1 is a very near and dear figure to me. One that I have probably been waiting for even longer than this guy. So, some of you may be wondering what my favorite Transformers toy of 2024 was. And if you know me, if you know the bots that I have a very deep personal connection to, you might be able to guess that my number 1 Masterpiece Movie Brawl. I love this figure, dude. It is so good. It is a Masterpiece movie figure, so the transformation's a little involved. And I'm not the biggest fan of super involved transformations, but this one ain't bad. It's not a bad transformation, but this figure really demonstrates how movie figures and movie designs really shine with the Masterpiece scaling and the Masterpiece engineering. I am such a big Brawl fan. He was the first figure that I ever bought on my own. I was taken to a store and I was asked, what Transformer do you want? I picked out Deluxe Brawl. Brawl is very near and dear to me. This is a very biased, personal number 1 top pick. But dude, this figure rocks. Number 1, he can go nom nom nom, which I love. My name's not Devastator, it's Brawl! I know, buddy, I know. Michael Bay messed it up. It's just so good. I love all the paint detail. He is absolutely caked in all these little scuffs and scrapes. Even around the back. I think they did a really good job, concealing the barrel of the, the main tank barrel. And then, all this stuff on the back, too, is just folded and compacted so well. And it's nice and tight, too. This guy has a lot of, little kibble armor bits here and there. But I feel like everything just kind of contributes to the bot mode. And it holds together. It's not like one of those figures where it has, stuff hanging off of him and it just flops around. No, this guy's rock solid. And he has a lot of nice blast effects. He has a lot of nice, really good ratchet joints. He is just so good. And he is definitely my number 1 pick as my favorite Transformer of the year. I need to transform him again. It's been a little bit. I know it is a little involved. I'm not the biggest fan of, stressing out over involved Masterpiece transformations. If you tuned into my live stream of trying to transform MP44, you might have a little bit of an idea of that. But yeah, MPM Brawl, definitely my number 1 bot of 2024. So guys, there we go. There's my list. My top 10 Transformers of 2024. There's some seriously hot heat on this table here. And I know with my picks, they're going to be a little controversial. I understand that. But just remember, this is not a top 10 best Transformers video. This is my top 10 favorites of 2024. I don't really do bests lists because I don't feel like I am qualified to determine what is the best. I feel like those lists are best when it's actually put up to a vote. For me, all I can talk about is my personal opinion. And in my opinion, these are my top 10 favorites. These are the ones I had the most fun with this year, the ones I was the happiest with, the most impressed with, the most giddy with that came out in the year. And yeah, I'm pretty surprised because there's some figures that I expected to be on this list that ended up not being on this list. I got them and I wasn't as impressed. And there's others where, like, I honestly didn't expect Sunstreaker to be on this list when he was revealed, but I have not been able to stop transforming him. He is so good. He's probably my most transformed figure of the year. I probably transformed him about a dozen times. He is very fun. Alrighty guys, thank you very much for watching. Please let me know what you think about my list down in the comments below. Am I an absolute sinner for not having 86 Prime on here? Sorry, I just didn't like it that much. Let me know what you think are your favorite 10 Transformers down in the comments below as well. Special shout out to channel members as always. Thank you all so much for the continued support. Have a great one guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.